Rathore sir, shall we start? Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to the third day of our 8-day NEP Orientation and Sensitization program. Over the past 2 days, we have engaged in insightful discussion on the transformative vision of the National Education Policy 2020 and its impact on our education system. Today, we continue our journey toward a deeper understanding of its core principle and implementation strategy. I extend my warm greeting to our esteemed speaker, respected faculty member, and enthusiastic participant. Your dedication and active participation in this program truly reflect our collective commitment to educational excellence and reform. I encourage all of you to remain engaged, ask questions, and share your perspectives as learning is the most effective when it is interactive and collaborative. To continue this journey, I would like to hand over the technical session to our today's organizing co-coordinator, Dr. Neeraj Kumar, Head Mathematics Department, to welcome our today's chairperson as well as resource person. Over to you, Dr. Neeraj Kumar.
Thank you, madam, and good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the third day of 8th day online NEP Orientation and Sensitization program. To guide us today, we have with us the Dr. Akhilesh Tiwari, ji, who will be chairing the whole session. Dr. Tiwari ji is currently working as Associate Professor, Department of Physics, Indian Institute of Information Technology, Deoghat, Prayagraj. The resource person for the first session today is Professor Atul Misra ji from Department of Technology and Vocational Education, National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research, Bhopal. He will deliver a lecture on the theme Higher Education and Society. The resource person for the second session today is Professor Nasreen from Department of Education, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. She will deliver a lecture on the theme Student Diversity and Inclusive Education. Without further delay, I now invite today the chairperson, Dr. Akhilesh Tiwari ji, to take over and lead us through the rest of the session. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Neeraj.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. So, good afternoon again to all the participants and experts present here. So, as you know, this is a long training session. It is started from 3rd to 11th of March. So, today we have two sessions. One is governed by Dr. Atul Misra and another one is by Dr. Nasreen. So, in the first session, we are going to hear about higher education and society. And I would like to introduce Professor Atul Misra ji. Basically, Atul Misra ji is an associate professor at National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research, Bhopal. And he worked as Director Training and Placement with LNCT Group Bhopal as well. His experience, he have a lot of experience in the field of training, need analysis, design of training, training of trainers, and evaluation of training, induction training for teachers. So there are a number of such topics which are basically related to the training of teachers. And he has experience of international visits to several countries such as Japan, France, China, Singapore. And he has conducted several national and international trainings, more than approximately 200. And he has conducted international and national conferences as well, and this number is more than 75. He has published more than 45 research papers, and he has taken a lot of responsibilities in the field of teachers training, and he gained more than 26 years of experience. So now I am inviting Professor Atul Misra ji. And before starting, I would like to tell you that we have approximately half an hour break between these two sessions, and the key for connecting these two sessions is different. And in this session, the Gmeet key is different, and for other, it will be transferred to you, or shared to you, and you will connect with another key. So stay with us, and thank you. Thanks to all. Professor Atul Mishra ji.
Am I audible to all?
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. So
Yes,
thank
sir.
you, Professor Akhilesh, sir, chair of the session. All other faculty members who are present here in this STEAM session here. And thanks for giving this opportunity to share my views on this particular topic on higher education and society. I'll just try to finish that in time given to me. So once again, wishing very good afternoon one and all. I'll just initiate the topic, and I'll just take a sec to start my small presentation, which I meant for the purpose. So kindly allow me just to initiate.
If you have slides, please share it with us.
Yes, sir, just opening it. Hope it is visible to all.
Not yet.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah, now.
Yes, sir. It is
It is
visible.
visible? All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the topic which I just thought to, which has been given to me on this higher education and society. So, dear friends, as we know that education plays a significant and remedial role in balancing the socio-economic fabric of the country. Rather, we say education is the backbone of our society, economy, as well as our nation. So, if you say at the core of all these aspects
Dr. Mishra,
are
please
our,
make your screen full.
it's not coming full right now.
No, it's not. Please, I think press F5.
No, sir.
All right, let me try it again because I have done it, done slideshow mode.
Okay.
Is it okay now?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
I think
It's
please
okay, sir.
the same way. Please continue.
All right, all right. So while we are talking of the holistic, view, at the core of it are the most valuable resource. Those are our citizens. So rather we say everything is for our citizens. So our higher education system needs the nurture and care in the form of basic education to achieve a better quality of life, or rather a sustainable life for our society. So rather we say if we look for a sustainable society, so rather it should be education for sustainable society. So out of all the factors, whether it is social, economic, environment, our motive is a sustainable society. So we have seen that out of, while we are talking of quality of education, we are talking in terms of outcomes, we are talking in terms of global competencies, we are talking in terms of graduate attributes in the form of procedures like NBA and NAC. So one of the PO's program outcomes, one of the major global competencies has been taken as
student and society. So we need to look at that how students are able to connect to the society for the betterment of the society as a whole. So rather we say education, whether it's a school education or higher education, shall be for the betterment of society. I still remember the government initiative of a project, or rather a mission called Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, and which was a mandate given to all education institutions across India to take their students, or rather own some villages nearby, take their students to nearby villages so that the students can go for problem identification. Technical student will study for technical issues and share technical solutions, and non-technical will give non-technical. So that's how a government's major initiative was education and society connect for the resolution of social problems. And also, while we are talking in terms of outcomes, and we say outcome-based education rather, and in that, whenever we talk of outcomes in terms of their major projects, major application of their knowledge, skill, and attitude in the form of okay, some point coming from someone. Okay, shall I continue here?
Yeah, please
Yes,
continue.
sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right. Thank you. So, whenever we talk of application of knowledge, skill, and attitude in the form of their final projects, so when we talk of outcome-based projects, whether it is a student final year thesis for UG or PG, or maybe a PhD thesis rather. When we talk of outcomes, it has to be in the form of some benefit to society or industry, or rather, while we talk of industry, we talk of integrated, we talk of a word called society. So it has to be in the form of outcomes, should be in the form of benefit to the society. So, friends, if you look at India as a whole, in terms of one of the major country in terms of its high populations, we need to look at whether it's a boon or a bane. And if you look at projections of 2050, India's working age population would be near to 900 million. Even it is, and it's going to be the largest young population, that 25% of the world's graduate students would be here. So India potentially could be the single largest producer of high qualified manpower to the world, and the process has really started. Looking at the scenario of higher education in India in terms of number of IITs, number of NITs, triple ITs, number of AICT approved institutions, central universities, state government owned engineering universities, deemed universities, private universities, and polytechnics, number has grown enormous. And now India has become the world's second largest higher education system with over 58,000 higher education institutions across country. Sorry. So even as of July 24, India had over 30 crore students enrolled in school, colleges, and other institutions. Includes 26 crore in schools and approx 4.3 crore students in higher education. And if we look at even a mandate of our apex body UGC, which is taking care of higher education as a whole. So one of, if you look at the second point, and one of the mandate is to promote the students' link with society and industry, right? So that's how industry institute connect, industry society connect. It has been a major initiative by the government, Ministry of Charity, or other Ministry of Education, UGC, and AICT as well. And we were able to see the UGC quality mandate in the form of number of initiatives. Maybe it is ICT based learning and so many others which are visible in terms of quality research, learning outcome based learnings, evaluation reforms, and so many others which are able to see here. Major contribution has come to quality improvement of our education, school education, as well as higher education in the form of NAP 2020 and UGC being implementing body here for higher education has contributed a lot on major thirst areas. And if we are able to see some of the key areas which we are able to address is multidisciplinary and holistic education, digital empowerment and online education, skill development and employability, research, innovation, and entrepreneurship, capacity building of teachers for quality education, governance and autonomy of the institutions, quality ranking and accreditations, whether it is NIRF, NBA, and NAC, equitable and inclusive education, promotion of Indian languages and Indian knowledge system, and internationalization of education. But friends, there are challenges ahead. Often we see issues in newspaper, and if you'll see in terms of our institutions in quality of institutions across global rankings, issues like degrees instead of competencies, students getting degrees, but employment is still a challenge for them. This is the news which was there in the newspaper, and such kind of issues they keep on coming, which needs a lot of attention and address by the higher education. Even the issues like automation, issues like investments, issues like imports and exports, and of course, the major aspects which is there that with the change of technology, with the change of innovations, I mean, employment status is changing. In current world, if we look at the traditional jobs which were there before 10, 15, 20 years back, many of them are not existing now. And similarly, many of the jobs which existing jobs would not be there in future, rather new kind of jobs would be created with the help of technological developments. So friends, if you look at higher education system, there are multiple challenges. And if we look at some of the major first is technological, as I recently discussed. The change of technology, the pace of technology is very, very fast. Student studying 2G in first year, the moment he reaches a couple of years, he reaches final year, right? The technology from 2G, it changes to 5G. And it still is studying in this curriculum, the content like 2G or 3G. And similarly, it's happening across sectors. It's like machine learning, supply chain, automation, and all these technological changes are very, very fast. And our education system just needs to catch up, just need to connect with those technologies, include those content in their curriculum as fast as it can be. And that can be, and the major challenge comes to those that knowledge should be percolated to faculties who are teaching these content in the colleges. And similarly, students should be well equipped with those technological competencies and skills before they pass out and join those major technical or technological companies working on those technologies. So connecting, matching those technological changes is one of the major challenge which is in front of higher education of system in India. Again, second, when we talk of changes in political, social, and economics, as we say, there are political changes and at global level also. Recently, we have seen that leadership change in US, and there are a lot of global changes in terms of tariffs, competitions, and technology also. And similar happens with social, and there are economic changes also which are connected to each other. Comes to revenue, internal revenue generation. In Indian higher education system, now IRG, the word called IRG, is gearing up fast. At international level, this is a very, very common concern that each and every institution, faculty, they design their own courses, right, which are sellable in the markets. Here in India too, we are able to see the things at newspaper that IITs, IMs, and ITs are running their own professional courses, professional consultancies, generating IRG, internal revenue generations, right? And that's how they are able to make their system, their institute, self-sustainable. Because now government wants institutions to go autonomous, and they should be self-sustainable. They should run on self-sustainable models. Next comes to a changing paradigm of education and training. Friends, we have seen the education changing from traditional education to outcome-based education, competency-based education, changing to outcome-based education. From local issues, now we are addressing global challenges, global competencies in the form of graduate attributes, in the form of program outcomes, being implemented across technical institutions in the form of NAG. Not only technical, it's technical and higher education across country in the form of NBA and then the form of NAC, also NIRF for their quality improvement process. So now changing paradigm of COVID, it traditional mode of physical mode of education. After now system has changed to a hybrid, and online has been accepted by the system now. And we are connected today in the form of online mode of assist education and training. So now, with the changing world, education has changed. Similarly, the profile of next comes to changing profile of learners. Now, even the learner profile has changed from traditional pattern of learning to now new pattern of learning, online learnings, hybrid mode of learnings, more of self-learning, more of video content learnings, right? And that's how even the learner's profile has changed with the changing paradigm of education and training. Next challenge is alternate system of education. Friends, as we know, that gross enrollment ratio number of students studying in school education, followed by number of students joining higher education, is really a matter of concern. So that global, this gross enrollment ratio as compared to global competitors, it really needs to be addressed. And just to make the education available for all, now India too has started alternate system education even earlier also. It was in the form of distance learning, it was in the form of open learning. During the COVID time, we initiated the digital form of university. Now, university is part of our education system in India. Now, online learnings. Now, MOOCs program, as we know, massive open online, and which these courses were there earlier also. Now they are more prevalent, and now, as we know, we have our own MOOCs platform in the name of SWAYAM. So SWAYAM is a kind of MOOC platform which is available, indigenous Indian platform. Courses are being provided. So the alternate system of education has, and now we need to see that integration of all these happens for the betterment of education, for the betterment of students, and betterment of society. Another thing which comes is accountability. So we need to look at, this is also one of the challenge, that while we are talking from top to bottom, right, there are, while we are talking of competencies of the students, right, their employment of the students, we need to look at who is going to address the concern and who will be accountable for this overall development of these competencies. We are talking of NAC, we are talking of NBA, its overall quality improvement, but it has to be in the form of outcomes, outcomes in the form of development of their competencies, whether in the form of course outcomes, whether in the form of program outcomes. Another key aspect is accreditation. See, although we have accepted this global competencies, we are trying best to implement that quality level in our systems, in our higher education system, in our institutions. But looking at the number of, it's a huge education system across India. So looking at the number of accreditations happening every year, the process is still very slow and it takes time. So this is also, accreditation is also one of the challenge. Institutions are still gearing up, understanding about those quality standards and trying to learn how to meet up those in the form of real practice and to document in the proper way. And connected concern, internationalization of education, right? So as we said, now our education has grown international as we have accepted these graduate attributes, program outcomes, which are global attributes of for students. So by these standards, we really wish to serve not only Indian social system, Indian industries, but rather we wish to address all those international industries and platforms which are available. And now it's a very small word we look at. All global industries are having their offices, workplaces in India. And we see all Indian companies all are having their offices across the world. Now then, so we need to look at that how our student competency would meet up the challenges of this internationalization of education. Another thing is called dynamic need of world of work. So if you look at, When we speak of world of work, it has very, very diverse and dynamic needs in terms of the competencies, whether it is we talk of employability skills of the students, or rather we talk of all those global competencies which are desired for the students while they work across these global systems. Right. So addressed by our higher education system. Some of the points which we have touched upon. So if you look at the top drivers of skill development of students across sectors, the top drivers of there are skill shortages. So if you look at some of the points which approx 26% contribution comes to applicants lack required hard skills. And hard skills we are talking in terms of their domain knowledge. Similar variant comes to 25% is comes to lack of experience. Means the lack of the exercises which counts to their experience, like projects, the trainings, right, which are required at institute level, and it is less. Comes to even 18% comes to lack of applicants, right? So here is some of the points which I have seen that even some of the factors which are visible, right, for top drivers of skill shortages. Even if you look at some of the other challenges, like even in India, average expenditure per student per academic year in across cities is still much higher. Students are also one of the of major students. Half the students drop out because of financial constraints. We were talking of accreditation as a challenge. So look at the data, right? Look at the data across regions. If you look at Central India, out of institutions say for 127 students, percentage is hardly 13. Gujarat hardly 3%, Madhya Pradesh 5%. So similarly, the percentage of accreditations across India, right, it is moving very slow. So while we are talking of quality improvement with the help of this accreditation process is moving, but it has to be designed in such a way that it may go much faster. States like Jammu Kashmir hardly 1 to 2%, right? Some of the states like Delhi are moving fast, 41%. But say for example, Bihar, it was zero, but rather it's hardly 1 to 2%. So we need to look at that how these element of the changing profile of learners. Friends, these are 21st century learners and very diverse, dynamic spectrum of skills. And if you look at some of the points which I've tried to keep here, we start with rely on search engines. We too have moved from traditional to online learning, but still the new age students, what we name them as Gen Z, right? They rely more on rather relying on their teachers. Now they rely more on search engines. So earlier, the age was of tacit knowledge. Whatever teachers has said is enough. But now, from tacit knowledge, this is the age of explicit knowledge, wherein students they try to verify all said by the teacher. So now, as we know, teacher are no more a source of knowledge. We are just a facilitator. So they rely on more on search engines now. Interested in multimedia, of course, their learning has turned, and after the COVID, the learning has turned in multimedia forms, right? So they more are interested into looking at, you know, their video programs available in YouTube's or specific videos which are meant, rather than textbooks and all. So then their span has become very short. So their attention span, which are even earlier was taken as hardly 15 to 20 minutes in a class, and now it has come to more shorter time. And so they prefer, if you look at the time duration in the form of videos being made and uploaded. So earlier videos for hours, now they have come into seconds now. Communicates visually rather. So more than verbal, they prefer to communicate in the more visual forms rather. Right? There are more social interactions. With the help of the multimedia platforms, these are social platforms, right? They are able to.
Excuse me, sir, your slide is not moving.
Okay. Are you able to see this slide?
Yes, sir.
21st
Yes, sir. It's visible. Sir, slide is visible, but it's not moving.
Okay, but because I'm not moving it.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So I'm just sharing those points which are mentioned here. I'm talking on those points. So it is still here at this point. So we were talking of social interactions. Rather, students had become much more social, but physical. It is more online interactions, right? So they are connected to more than a number of people now, but online connections rather than physical interactions. Students are more collaborative now because of these online social interactions. With the help of these technical online platforms, we are able to see that they are internationally collaborated for their small concerns with their friends or their like-minded people. So these online technological platforms have given them a boost for collaborative learnings. They express emotions. Earlier, these learners, these 21st century learners, they express emotions faster, better than their old generations. Diversity and multiculturalism, they are more diverse, having more associated, more collaborative, immediate gratification. They give immediate feedback, right? More typing rather writing. So this youth is more versed to typing on laptops or their cell phones rather than writing in notebooks. They are creating more internet content. They are more reasoning based. They prefer learning by doing, and their operational speed is much higher and more focused, goal oriented, and become multitasking. They are much more tech savvy, right, rather than prior generations. So we need to look at how to tackle, handle, guide this 21st century learners, and also a major concern for our higher education system. See, look at the time spent on social media, right? So it has increased much higher. So even it is for all of us, but if you look at the generation, young generation, the learners which are there in school education and higher education, the total time spent on social media is much more. Friends, even if we look at the paradigm shift in the education, we were talking that earlier we had was passive learning, which I moved to active learning strategies, and now role of a teacher information provider, or rather facilitator of learning. Teaching learning process has moved from simple traditional methods to more of student-based learning. Rather, earlier we used to go for teacher-led learning, teacher-based learning, and now, while we are talking of active learning, it has to be more of student-based learning. So all these teaching methods have moved to teacher-centric to student-centric learning methods. Again, also we need to look at the assessment and evaluation process. It has evolved over the years. From traditional method of assessment, we have moved to more outcome-based assessment methods. Now we talk of validity, we talk of reliability, we talk of objectivity, practicality, and utility of our assessment tools. So whether it's pen and paper, whether it is rubrics, so all these assessment tools, they are now more valid and more reliable, more practical, and more objective. Friends, one of the technologies which have intervened our education system and the form of MOOCs, well, we're talking a word like massive open online courses, and rather, this is not new term. Thousands and lakhs of such programs have been run by, if you look at top five players, Coursera, 37 million, edX, 18 million. So likewise, if you look at all these MOOCs platform run by foreign players, foreign universities for a long time. But now, as I said, now India has its own MOOCs platform in the form of in the name of SWAYAM platform, where we are having now not only thousand number now touches lakhs of courses, free online courses, or which is increasing the learning education, free education to all, right? So if you look at the growth of MOOCs from 2012 to 2018, now this is old data. If you look at 2025, this is much more enormous, right? So growth of MOOCs programs, which are the MOOCs, the best part of is there are no physical boundaries, there are no age boundaries, there are no geographical boundaries, no time boundaries, no financial boundaries. All boundaries have been broken, and now education is available to all. Free education is available to all. And now, because of this free education and access to technology, right, students' readiness for online learning is much higher, right? So they are able to map the course with syllabus, develop relevant courses, create the infrastructure, train your students, performance, and that's how they are able to give holistic approach to learning. Friends, one of the very important aspect while we talk of a word called creativity and innovation for the student, and the higher version comes to research and innovation by the students, by the faculty members, right? And we need to address this because creativity and innovation, research and innovation, their backbone, or rather, epic backbone. And now looking at from economics point of view, with the pace of this global competition, there's a word which is termed as innovate or perish. Innovate or perish. And this is very, very acceptable by the industry across. All our students, after studying from our education system, when they join industry, they are the backbone employees of the industry. And industry, based on their creativity, innovation, research, they are able to compete their services and product at international level. As we are discussing now, education, now technology, now competition is international. And look at our global competitors. And whether we name them as China, we name them US or others. So our products in the market, they need to be services and products, they need to be competitive. This is one of the major so while we're to be discipline specific, be education research. And friends, I'm sharing with some of the data, right? If you're able to see the figures of patents for degrees of some of the countries of China, India, Republic of Korea, and look at India, hardly 0.5% as compared.
Mishra, I think your slides are not moving. You're showing some data, but it is not.
Okay,
I think
not visible. I'm showing some data.
Yeah, not. We are on the second slide, I think.
All right. So I'm just sharing a slide on research and innovation. Is it visible?
No, I think I.
All right. I'll just try to put it again. Is it visible now?
Now,
Yeah,
sir,
this
it
is-
is visible.
Yeah,
Now it is visible. Research and innovation.
yeah,
Yes,
research
sir.
and innovation.
All right. I have moved to third slide. Now this is some data is here. Is it visible now?
No, this is not data. Only title is given as research
I'll
and
do one
innovation.
thing. Just stop your presentation, then present once again and select entire screen option.
Yeah,
Then
that's
All right.
the better way.
Just tell me. Just let me take this. And now tell.
Yeah.
Yes, now it is visible, sir.
Yes.
All right.
Sir,
all
but
right.
it is not full screen.
But I don't know what's happening. I try to make it full screen. Okay. Just let me know. Is it bigger now?
Not yet.
Little bit, but sir, this window is showing small in size, no?
Okay, now.
Bigger than.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
सर
Yes, sir.
सर ये जो बॉटम लाइन पर प्लस माइनस बना हुआ है सर, उसके बगल में एक बैनर जैसा बना हुआ है सर, उस पर क्लिक करेंगे तो फुल स्क्रीन हो जाएगा सर.
I did so.
सर
मैंने इसे
जहां से आपने लार्ज और रिड्यूस किया है ना सर, उसी के बगल में देखेंगे एक बैनर जैसा बना हुआ है सर.
मैंने इसे क्लिक कर दिया सर. जस्ट अभी क्लिक कर दिया पर कुछ हो नहीं रहा है.
सर आपने जो है विंडो सेलेक्ट कर रखी है. अगर आप
स्लाइड शो पे आप करेंगे.
पार्टिसिपेंट्स प्लीज
जस्ट अ सेकंड. मुझे अब
Please
एक
let me
सेकंड
help him.
दीजिए. मैं
Atul sir, this is Mazhar Zali from UGC-HRDC AMU.
sir,
I'm the technical person. I'll
Okay.
help you out. I'm telling
I'm
you, just stop your presentation first.
Okay, I have stopped it.
Now go to present now.
All right, I did so.
Select the entire screen option.
Got this point. I did so, sir. I did so. But after selection this, now sharing option is not coming to me. only when I select window, then only I'm getting. No,
Just select the entire screen option, sir.
I selected it. Yes. Now it is here. I'm sharing. Now let me know it is visible to.
Small window there. There, and then click.
Okay, let me try it again.
On your system, we can see it.
Let me try it.
Now stopped. The presentation stopped. The exercise once again.
You have to choose your PPT and start presenting on your own screen.
Just a second. I'm just doing it again.
Click on sir, present now.
Now, is it visible now?
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, sir. Still, it is small.
Okay.
Sir, select the entire screen option. I'm telling you. Your complete desktop, your screen, your will be visible.
Yes, I did so. Now I have screen and PPTs are on.
No.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, just now. It's coming. It's coming.
Yes, it has come.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
it is. Now it's perfect.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your kind help. So shall we move on now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if you are able to see some comparative data on my screen, number of patents for degrees, comparing our some of the companies. So India contributing to 0.5% as compared to Japan 35%, China 7%, Korea 30%, US 14.3%. So we need to focus more on research and look at the share of. Now my second slide is visible to all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Its share of world researchers,
Yes, sir.
right? So this data is
Ye-
was shared by Ministry of HRD when it was Ministry of HRD. Now it is Ministry of Education. So, but not much more, but even if we look at the figures of comparative data of US and China, researchers, they are doing much higher. We need to look at even a small country like Israel, right? So if you look at the third slide, patent and publication, visible?
Sure.
All right. Started long back from one, right? So from 2005 onwards, we had a lot of diversification, and China moved on, say, for touching 4,000 patents and publications as compared to India on publication, right? US patents assigned to universities, if you compare the data of three countries, India, China, and Israel, right? So we need to address much more issues on these. Okay. So I moved on innovation. The slides are moving and we So I shared you, so this shared you some the data, like talking of top 10 innovative nations, right? So we need to look at that. We should be also included in these nations. While 50, we rank ranked earlier, right? While uh, on eighth number, China was we stand 45th. So we need to look at that. We can go a bit higher in positions. And very important point, which overall now I'm addressing is crux of everything global competition. So while we are talking a word called global, we are talking word competition. So the word which derives which we integrated as a cycle is identification. First point, the student needs to learn as one of the skill or competency is problem identification. So while we are talking of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan mission and students are moving and societies, they need to learn to identify the problems, then only they can think of solution, right? And that goes with industry also. While the students are joining as employee in industries, whatever, the same and problem solving with creative and innovative doing in terms of global competition. Friends, I'm sharing you one data with you that if you are talking of manufacturing, right? While China compared to India, 1% of global manufacturing. So manufacturing, as you know, that India is made in India, right? Concept, made in India mission, so that we Indians, we may initiate more creative, innovative manufacturing in India, and even companies from outside, they should come and manufacture in India. But more important is our student, our education system should gear up to make our student competitive to manufacturing. Believe I've just talked of some of economy of and in India also. And when we are talking of bottom of the pyramid, right, of industries, we are talking of MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises. MSMEs are providing large our major chunk of students, but they need to survive in this global market. All those MSMEs which were manufacturing have moved out of the market, shut down, closed, as they could not survive. Small example that small iron nails, which were being manufactured in India, have been replaced by these Chinese nails, which are. I've just taken one example of one sector talking of, if you talk of steel, whether we're talking of cement, coal, or just talking of one sector called steel. See, China is producing 10 times more steel than India, And the result is they are dumping their steel across world and in India also. Approx 15-20 when steel companies, steel producing companies in India, and to put dumping against the dumping by the uh, in India, and they steel in across and in very lesser price, and the result is steel producers are not able to survive in the global market, and it will sell. And then look at this news I'm sharing as a couple of years back. So our sales chief, he gave the even variable cost, cheap imports from China hurting margins of domestic companies. So dear friends, all this is happening because we are unable to cope up. Herein, for export by India is hardly 5, and India is hardly 5, China is 6. So herein, talking of all these global aspects, we need to address global competition is a major and just right, but very, very serious concern, right? We started our first yoga day couple of years. So the first yoga which was done on Rajpath, approx 37,000, is chattaya, which were purchased, they were Chinese. So meaning to say, we look at our product and services more competitive so that they are able to survive the global competitive market. So we are talking of MSMEs, we are talking of our large sectors, right? So friends, while we're talking of excellence education system for a better output, better society, there are 4 major things which needs to be addressed. First, developing or building global competencies. Friends, these are some of the graduate attributes, or rather we term as outcomes, have been taken from our. These GAs are the global competencies which have been accepted by India also, amongst their bodies of accord. So we need to look at all competence, all these program outcomes should be percolated in the form of course outcomes and learning outcomes. Our systems should be updated meters. Our faculty members, they should be trained not only on domain knowledge, but also on the use all these competencies. They need to understand what are these competencies, how to address, develop these competencies. The faculty development key aspect which needs to be addressed always. And all these program outcomes or other competencies and inculcated in the student once they. This is one data which is a quite old data that the employability assessment, which has been done by some across cities, right? Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and Mumbai, and they could found that uh, the employment of the student, it is course average. It is also, it needs to be improved. This test was across 1 lakh engineering graduates across various engineering institutions in the country, and it needs to be addressed and to be put higher. So developing employability students is one of the major concern which needs to be addressed across institutions, higher education. Okay. Second part comes to industry academia partnership. Government, Ministry of Education, UGC, AICT are taking a lot of initiative this concern, because industry and are two sides of the same coin. Academia, they give their produce to industry, which grow further, and during this process of their industry, they need to take to develop those manpower, quality manpower, which are going to be their future employee and their future concern of development. So being both of the same coin, we need to learn that we need to go in partnership by supporting, right, right, internship. So while we are talking curriculum by UGC, now industry is supporting, helping a lot, right, in terms of their curriculum, right, in terms of their curriculum, because they are key players that industry leaders are many academic institutions, IITs, or even so many other institutions. They are very much helpful in developing entrepreneurial ecosystem in academic institutions, right? So that's how you need to look at that all these diverse spectrum of interaction can be initiated to part. And if you know now, even AICT and UGC, they have initiated to take industry people as faculty members. Terms have been different. One term by UGC POP, Professor of Practice, which has been taken recently, so that or can people from industry and they can have a short duration as faculty members also. They can show them as faculty, and they can, the term which has another term. So internships has been compulsory to all, and now in all education institutions in their or NBA, they are preferring more on MOUs, institute MOUs, industry people, and therefore these are the institutions which are from higher system to form industry academia partnership. Third part, which is as one of the and much. If you're talking about social systems, they need more and innovative ideas to add their concerns. So education need to produce more and social entrepreneurs, not only entrepreneurs, number of social entrepreneurs to address social problems. Business entrepreneurs, of course, they are addressing business development is also one of the key initiatives. And the good news which has come across is now India has become the third largest startup ecosystem, after US, UK, right? And we are growing very, very fast in terms of these. And of course, related concern, we have research and innovation, creativity and innovations and innovations are connected terms. Entrepreneur and start creativity and innovation connected terms. It may differ, it may differ critical to position. Ask we people from academic look at what creativity and innovation means, what is the meaning. We look at designing creative teaching methods, create innovative content for a better even innovative products, case studies for this, right? So we need to guide them how to develop a better prototype, a better startup ecosystem. We need better mentor and facilitator for innovation in our class, right? So, while we are talking creativity, for us, we need to analyze and exhibit while during our teaching process. Our methods to work should be more creative and innovative, and it should be a learning for the student to engage the students for their more. Already talked about research and innovation issue and all connected to these concerns. So discussed about justice. Four uh, major thirds building in education system to address social concerns. While we are talking of concern is a very big aspect, while we are talking of our economy and society, so while we are talking of a sustainable society, there are three concerns. One concern goes for environment, which is an overall umbrella. We are talking of economy and social aspects as a whole. So all these three together, put together, they are addressing our sustainable society, sustainable development. And for this sustainable development, and which needs to be addressed by our backbone, and which is our education, which we right now building competencies for students, and partnership, entrepreneurship, development, and creativity and innovations. The four major areas which can be addressed here. So with this, I would like to end up my session here, rather on this particular topic. I'd like to thank the organizers for inviting me here, giving me this opportunity to share my views and concern. And now session, I would like to keep it open for questions by the audience, please.
Thank you, Professor Mishra, for giving a nice talk on different aspects of the higher education in terms of the society. And asking for two questions anyone have. You can ask directly or you may raise your hands and we can. Any questions? So even if you are not have any, if later on you feel any question, Professor Mishra, his email is with you. To him, he will answer your question in this way. Thank you, Professor Mishra, for nice talk.
Thank you.
So then our break in this. So 4 o'clock we will meet again. New link to hear Professor Nasreen at this platform. Thank you. Thanks to all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Oye,